Have you ever looked at an old photo of yourself and thought, I miss her? Maybe she laughed more, had hobbies, dreamed about the future, or simply knew who she was. Now, your days revolve around feeding, cleaning, working, remembering everyone else's need. And somewhere along the way, you started wondering, will I ever feel like myself again? Here's something I wish every mother knew. You haven't lost yourself. You have simply stopped having experiences that remind your brain who you are beyond motherhood. That may sound like a small difference, but it completely changes what you do next. Because you don't have to wait for life to slow down, you have to intentionally reconnect. Let's think about identity differently. Most people imagine identity as something you have. But psychology tells us something interesting. Identity is something your brain continuously updates. Your brain learns who you are by watching what you repeatedly do. Before motherhood, every week your brain collected evidence. I go to work. I paint. I read. I meet friends. I exercise. I solve problems. These repeated experiences quietly told your brain, this is who I am. Then motherhood arrived. Suddenly, your days become filled with different evidence. I pack lunches. I soothe crying. I remember appointments. I fold laundry. I meet everyone else's need. Your brain isn't trying to erase you. It's simply updating its picture based on what it sees every day. So when mother says, I don't feel like myself anymore, it's often because their brain hasn't been reminded of the other parts of them for a very long time. Many mothers believe this feeling will disappear on its own. They tell themselves, I will feel like me again when the baby sleeps through the night, when school starts, when work becomes easier, when life slows down. But here is the problem, life rarely pauses and says, now it's your turn. If your plan is to wait, you may spend years waiting because identity does not quietly return with time. It grows through repeated experiences. Waiting changes very little. Participation changes everything. Imagine learning a new language. If you stop speaking it for 5 years, you don't suddenly remember it one morning. You begin speaking it again. One word, one sentence, one conversation at a time. Your identity works in a similar way. Every time you do something that reflects who you are teaching your brain, this part of me still exists. Not because you are pretending, because you are practicing. Stop asking, when will I feel like myself again? Instead, ask what experience today reminds me who I already am. Notice the difference? The first question waits, the second one acts. One hopes life will change, the other begins changing your relationship with yourself today. There is one practical tool. I call this identity minute. Not an hour, not a weekend away, just one intentional moment every day. Ask yourself, before motherhood, what made me feel most alive? Maybe it was writing, reading, music, learning, photography, walking, gardening, cooking. Now choose the smallest possible version. Read one page, write one paragraph, Play one song you used to love. Water one plant. Sketch for 5 minutes. The goal isn't productivity, the goal is evidence. Evidence for your brain that says, I am still more than my responsibilities. Many mothers believe they need better self care. Self care is important, but self care and identity aren't always the same thing. A nap helps you recover, a massage helps you relax. Both are valuable, but neither necessarily remind you who you are. Ask yourself, does this help me recover? Or does this help me reconnect with myself? Sometimes you need recovery, sometimes you need reconnection, often you need both. When you stop waiting for life to slow down, something beautiful begins to happen. You no longer expect one perfect day to magically bring your old self back. Instead, you start collecting small moments: a page read, a song enjoyed, a walk taken, a conversation that wasn't about schedule or groceries. Each one quietly tells your brain she is still here. Over weeks and months, you don't become someone new. You become familiar with yourself again. Remember, you don't find yourself again by waiting. You rebuild your relationship with yourself by returning, one small moment at a time. For today's practice, instead of asking, when will I have my life back? Ask yourself, what is one small thing I can do today that reminds me who I am beyond motherhood? Because the woman you are missing isn't gone. She hasn't disappeared. She is simply waiting to be invited back into your everyday life. So don't wait for life to become quieter before you reconnect with yourself. Begin today. One small moment, one small choice, one small reminder at a time. Because the relationship you have with yourself shapes the relationship you build with your children. When a mother feels more connected to herself, she doesn't just change her own life, she changes the emotional environment her children grow up in. If this lesson helped you see yourself a little differently today, I would love to have you here for the next motherhood lesson. Until then, take care of yourself with the same kindness you so freely give to everyone else. I'll see you in the next lesson.